The sun blazed over the valley of Elah, casting long shadows across the battlefield where two armies stood in opposition. On one side, the Israelite soldiers huddled together, their faces filled with fear and uncertainty. On the other side, the Philistine army stood tall, their ranks bolstered by a terrifying figure, a warrior unlike any other. Goliath of Gath towered over the battlefield, his massive frame encased in bronze armor that glistened under the sun. He carried a spear so large that its iron tip alone weighed as much as a grown man's arm. His voice bellowed like thunder as he mocked the Israelites. "Why do you even bother to line up for battle?" Goliath sneered. "Choose a man to fight me. If he wins, we will be your slaves. But if I win, you will serve us." His taunts echoed across the valley, striking fear into the hearts of Israel's warriors. For 40 days, morning and evening, Goliath had issued this challenge, and each time, the Israelites shrank back in terror. Even King Saul, once a mighty warrior, had no answer for the Philistine giant. But on this particular day, a young shepherd named David arrived at the camp. He was not a soldier, just a boy sent by his father, Jesse, to bring food to his older brothers who served in the Israelite army. As David walked through the camp, he overheard the soldiers whispering about Goliath's challenge. When he saw the fear in their eyes, something inside him stirred. How could they allow this pagan warrior to defy the army of the living God? David turned to the men nearby. "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" he demanded. The soldiers only shook their heads, too afraid to answer. Word of David's boldness quickly spread, reaching the ears of King Saul. The king summoned the young shepherd and looked him over skeptically. "You are just a boy," Saul said. "Goliath has been a warrior since his youth. How can you fight him?" David's eyes burned with determination. "I have been tending my father's sheep," he replied. "When a lion or a bear came to steal a lamb, I struck it down and rescued the lamb from its mouth. If it turned on me, I seized it by its mane and killed it. The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." Saul hesitated, but something about David's unwavering faith struck him. Finally, he relented. "Go, and the Lord be with you." He offered David his own armor, but the boy refused. It was too heavy, too cumbersome. Instead, David picked up his shepherd's staff and walked toward the brook that ran through the valley. There, he carefully selected 5 smooth stones and placed them into his leather pouch. With his simple sling in hand, he stepped forward to meet the giant. Goliath roared with laughter when he saw the small, unarmored boy approaching. "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" he mocked. "Come here, and I will give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." David did not flinch. Instead, he took a deep breath and shouted back, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I will strike you down. Then the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. The battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands." With that, David reached into his pouch and pulled out a single stone. He placed it in his sling and began to swing it around his head. The moment Goliath stepped forward, David released the stone with precision. It cut through the air like an arrow and struck the giant squarely in the forehead. The impact was immediate. Goliath's eyes rolled back, and his enormous body crashed to the ground with a deafening thud. The entire battlefield fell into stunned silence. David did not hesitate. He ran forward, grabbed Goliath's own massive sword, and with one swift motion, ended the Philistine warriors' reign of terror. The sight of their fallen champion sent the Philistine army into a panic. They turned and fled as the Israelite soldiers, emboldened by David's victory, chased them down. That day, a shepherd boy became a warrior, not through strength, nor by weapons of war, but through faith in the power of the living God. David's triumph was a reminder that victory does not come from human ability, but from unwavering trust in the Lord. The same God who helped David defeat Goliath still fights for those who put their faith in him.